going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 21 and the start of season 2 here for our Lille career mode. Now today we're going to be doing a lot of transfers kind of stuff here. Next episode I think we'll do the Super Cups. As you can see, PSG of course in both, winning the league, and we won did we win one of the cups or did we just finish second place? I think we just finished second place, and then of course we won the Europa League. So yeah, we did finish second place, and they won everything in France, and then they won the Champions League, and then we finished obviously winners of the Europa League. So we've got 2 Super Cups against PSG, and of course Rennes in the middle. That'll probably happen next episode depending on how things go, but today we're going to be doing a little bit of transfer stuff, I believe. And of course we talked last episode about what we planned on doing here at Lille, and we wanted to keep it semi-realistic in terms of mostly younger players coming in, players we need to develop and things like that. And then of course, you know, bigger clubs coming in for some of our players. We'd probably, in theory, move them on to the highest bidder. There are players we don't want to move on. Jonathan David, Samare, Sanchez, I think are, you know, some of the few that I won't move on unless crazy prices come in for. And then Ikone is also kind of on that list. So we'll see. As for bringing players in that we want to have in at the club, a left back, I believe, instead of Ronaldo, who we're going to let go, and then perhaps another left winger, because I think I want to go ahead and let Yilmaz go, and then move De Ketelaere to striker, perhaps. We can actually go check that out now. In terms of development, I think we are going to go ahead and do that with De Ketelaere, mainly because he doesn't have the, you know, physical attributes out wide. He reminds me a lot of what's his name at West Ham, Yarmolenko. I feel like he's a little bit better through the middle, or could be a little bit better through the middle if he would have, you know, trained in that position a little bit more. So I think we're going to go ahead and move him to striker, or perhaps center forward. Let's see if we can get him at center forward. Mainly because I think center forward would kind of give him a little bit more well-rounded. I think because you're going to get you're going to get some of the striker options as well. Yeah, so I think we're going to train him at center forward and see how that goes. Only 2 weeks because he can already play there. And then, of course, we are going to move on from Yilmaz and Ronaldo, who can both go. Anyone else, they're going to have to, you know, put in some decent bids for us. His contract's expiring in 12 months, but if we can get something for him now, and then Yilmaz on that page as well. He's retiring at the end of the season. I could still move him on, but if not, then he'll just sit on our bench and kind of do a whole lot of nothing, I suppose. But we're also in this cup. We're also going to take a look and see what our transfer budget is. I haven't looked necessarily as we grab a win there. Jonathan David, Yashizi, and Jonathan David again as we beat Tigres 3-2. A couple of decent teams in here. Wolves, Atalanta, of course, very good. Bilbao, also very good. And then let's take a look at our transfer budget in the office here. 56 million. So we have a little bit more than I would have thought that we were going to end up with. But of course, I can't guarantee you games. I'm sorry, Ronaldo. I'm trying to help you out. An offer has come in for Renato Sanchez from Manchester City for 57 million. See, now this is where things kind of get not great. We're going to delegate this. We're going to up this actually to 113 and see what they come back with. We're just going to delegate this. He can go. We'll accept that one. Chevalier off. Now for left back, we don't necessarily have any main targets in mind, but there are quite a few targets here that we could take a look at. At left back, Kornienko, Anthony Robertson, Ayrton, Romain Perraud, of course French, Owen Windle, and then of course at left wing, someone asked for Hazard there, maybe perhaps late on in the career. That's something we could possibly look at. There are other players who could also play kind of left wing. Kubo is someone I just added to the list because that's someone who's very interesting to me. Of course, some, other midfielders here. These are the players we were looking at last time, or last season. Florinel Koeman before we settled on to Ketelaere. Diego Rossi, who's at Salzburg now. But we have the money now to go a little bit bigger than we normally would have in terms of, bringing a couple of players in. And if Sanchez goes, then we definitely have quite a bit of money, don't we? So let's go forward and see if anything crazy happens. They have broken down. That's okay. I'm not too upset about that. But that was a lot of money they were looking at there right off the bat. So we probably could have gotten a really decent amount. Offer comes in for Jonathan David from Tottenham for 64 million. As this, there are some prices here that are absolutely unbelievable. We'll start at 145 million. The Bila here, they're interested in taking him on loan. He's only 24, 70 overall. I'm going to let that go through. And then perhaps maybe that's someone we can move on if he grows a little bit while he's out on loan. 70 overall is not awful or anything. 24, another year, and he can push into his prime, and perhaps, we might be able to get something out of that. But let's get the sim going here as we play LA, and we beat them 2-1. Bamba and Jonathan David scoring. We keep letting up early goals in this, which is not ideal, but that should put us into the second round, get us a little bit more money coming back our way in the transfer budget. And negotiations are broken down. We're not going to let some of these players go for, without getting an absurd sum, especially those 3 or 4 we mentioned earlier. We're just not going to let them go. Those are players that some of these teams are going to have to fight for. Other players, we're probably going to be a little bit more lenient, but it is what it is as an offer comes in for Ronaldo. Matthew Lowton and 580,000. I'm not really looking for Matthew Lowton, so we'll just bring him back with a money offer and see what they say. Let's go check out the left backs. We're going to bring one in anyway, whether Ronaldo goes or not. I kind of want to just upgrade that spot. So let's take a look at some of these left backs here. They've all been scouted. Very quick. Anthony Robinson's quite quick, isn't he? Very good at the attacking kind of position there. Technically, he's all right. Not too bad. I wish the crossing was a little bit better, and the short pass was a little bit better, but that's okay. Defending 70. Not the greatest. He looks quite good, doesn't he? There's some good things here. Decent defending, of course. Short passes, well, it's better than Anthony Robinson's, but his physicals are also very, very good. And Parod here, he looks like he can grow into something very nice. He's very, very well-rounded. And then Windle. Windle's a good option as well. Defending, he's one of the better ones we have there. Short pass is really good. Windle's probably the option here. He's at 79 overall already, actually. That's probably why he's the option. Let's relax on that then. What about Ayrton here? Between 19 and 27. He's the oldest, though probably the best option. This is the cheapest option, though I quite like the look of him in a lot of places. Parod, good as well, though probably the slowest. So they've all got really good things about them. I wish short pass here and crossing was better, but everything else is really, really good. I think we're going to go for Anthony Robinson. Between 9 and 14 million. He's also got a really good price. Shouldn't be too upset sitting behind Bradarich either. So we'll see what we can do here. Offer a transfer fee. We'll just offer 10 million straight up. See what they say. Willick is definitely not going anywhere. Remove exchange player. Propose new transfer fee. We'll go with 10.5-ish. See what they say here. They want 10.7 with a 4% sell on. We'll just let that go. That is a pretty decent deal, I feel like, for Anthony Robinson. The American, 23 years of age. plenty of room to grow. Some really, there's some really, really nice attributes there. He's on 54,000 a week, which is kind of a lot. He wants to be an important player. That's going to be a little bit difficult to go with, but we'll roll with it for the moment. Let's go with a 4-year contract. No release clause, except please give me a wage. All right, 30,000. I want to counter that. Let's edit the wage a little bit. See if he's comfortable with 27,000 pounds a week. Not what he was looking for, but he'll take it. That is what we like to see. So we're going to have to get him a little bit more game time than I perhaps would have liked. But he is a very, very good option. And he can even come off the bench late in games. Plenty of pace about him. Let's take a look at him here. Where is Anthony Robinson? We also have to... Oh God, we've got to look at a lot of things here at the moment. Right back might be an option that we look at as well. Go ahead with Samaro. I believe Samaro might be into his last year with us. We'll see. But there are some really good players down here as well. Dundar. Yildirim is someone I'd like to keep going. Dundar I want to kind of send on loan. And there are players here we need to get rid of. There are just players who are just not going to really make the cut. Though, I'm looking for... There you are. Of course, the former United product. Let's bring him up a little bit. Bring him over just so he doesn't get lost. Do I want to bring him onto the bench? This is probably someone we can bring onto the bench, of course. Can play at left wing as well. The place we were looking at. Do we want to bring him onto the bench? We can bring him on at the moment for Yilmaz, who is going to go further down the list here. These are players we're going to have to look to get rid of. How old is this guy right here? Where are you? There you are. How old are you? Kouame. He looks a little bit older. But for the moment, I kind of just want to separate all the players we're looking at. Yildirim for the moment can come up. All these other players I kind of want to get rid of. Lopez is someone that probably needs a loan. Everyone else down here. It's kind of when all the younger kind of players just all come back really quick. And they kind of just all appear out of nowhere. So we need to go ahead and make sure a couple of these players get out on loan. And we need to make sure some of these players also just get sold outright. So Jardim can go. Coffee, he can stay. And Carnizes can go. So Coffee is a player who's come back and should have a spot here. This lad can go. Kaplan, we can add to the loan list. And then Dundar is someone I'd like to get game time to. That's probably not going to happen this year, though. Ronaldo, of course, we've put on the transfer list. This lad right here can go. Dybala, of course, just went out. On loan, Innocente. Someone he's on the loan list at the moment. This lad right here can go permanently. Shallow can stay. Shelik. P8 is someone we'll see. His contract's expiring in 12 months. We'll see how that kind of goes. Pizzuto, I kind of want to get him alone, but we'll hold on to that just yet. Nana can go. Niasi can go. And then we're going down the list a little bit here. This lad Show can go. Kouame, he's 24. He can go. Yildirim is someone we can add to the loan list. We've got a lot of players here who just need to go. Cappy can go on loan. I'm not sure what his life is all about. That lad can go. He doesn't have a face. That one can go. Gomez can stay. There are a lot of players here. We're going to add Lopez to the loan list. Lahaji, add to the transfer list. We'll add him to the loan list. Why not? This lad here can go permanently. See, this is what happens on teams like this that are always developing young talent as like a profession. That's what you end up with. 1 million players out on loan all the time. I imagine, obviously, if this wasn't a you know, a FIFA career mode, and maybe it was Football Manager, we'd be more into looking through that a little bit. But, you know, for the moment, it's FIFA. They've all kind of got set spots they can really reach, and a lot of them are just not going to make it. So it is what it is. This lad, I'm looking at options. These are all players I'm looking at options for. I mean, just looking at options. Can't go through all those right now. Let's take a look at the inbox. Looking at options. Inbox. Tournament prize money. You get another 1.8 million, which is nice. And then we get Wolves. And we'll see if offers come in. Of course, we're still looking at offers. Proper offers if they come in. 5.2 million with Burnley for Ronaldo. That is something we are going to accept. So Ronaldo is on his way out. Decent year last year, but unfortunately for him, he's just not super great, is he? I mean, it's as simple as that. And, you know, we're going to have to move on. Try and bring in, well, we did bring in Anthony Robinson, so hopefully, you know, that's someone who could really step up and help that situation a little bit. And then we're going to change the team out here because these dudes are getting tired and I do not want them getting hurt. We'll get Gomez some time. Jallo. At center back, Samaro. Robinson can come in at left wing. See, left wing is somewhere where you have to go next, you feel. Guies can come in onto the bench, I suppose. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much as long as they don't get hurt. That is the most important part. I'm not super worried about winning this game. And we did win the game, though. Ikone was sent off 57 minutes in. We still won it. Even scored a goal with 10 men, and we'll play Bilbao in the final, who are no pushover either. Not too bad. Getting a little bit of extra money for us. And right after we do the final, I think we are going to go ahead and take a look at what we want to do on left wing. We'll see what happens. Of course, it's all very, very fluid. We're not getting the bids I thought we were going to get. You know, for those middling players who are, you know, they're good players, but they're players I'm willing to kind of let go. So we'll see. Player suspended. That is what it is. Squad hub to Ketelaere. Development plan. And we'll show his position change, and it will be to center forward. That's excellently done. Playmaker. He's got pretty decent playmaking. This is kind of, I want that up a little bit. We'll go with penetrator because there are some dribbling aspects and passing aspects in there. So we'll go with penetrator here. Now, as for Gomez, let's go to his development plan because I kind of want to see what his best position will end up being. Attacking position's okay. His goal scoring's not awful or anything. But he's not really a shooter, and he's not quick enough to play on the wing at the moment, probably. So this is probably a good spot for him. It just depends on if we want him more attack-minded or we want him more like a playmaker. He's not super quick, so we'll end up like a Yashizi kind of player. We're going to go with a playmaker because, as I said, he's physically, he doesn't have like that, you know, game-changing speed at Cam. Like Yashizi's a really good player there because, you know, he can do a variety of different things all over, you know, that spot, and it's like it's different than having like Jonathan David there when we're chasing a goal, when you have just pure, you know, speed and, you know, stuff like that. So it's two different players, but with Yashizi, I see Yashizi able, when we're chasing games, to move back into midfield. I think that's kind of what we want Gomez to be as well. But let's go ahead and sim right through this match here, and hopefully we can grab one more win. We're going to lose on penalties. We lost 3-2. Muniain late scored 2. And we lose in the final. That is okay. 3-2. Not too bad. It is a friendly tournament after all. But our first game of the season will be against PSG, but that will come next episode. And he's back after suspension, obviously. But let's take a look at the left wing. Let's go to transfers here. See if we can bring someone in on this left-hand side. There are only a couple players here, but Diego Rossi's a really good option. 17 to 25. Koeman's 15 to 16. They're pretty straight up. I think Guiri... See, Guiri's kind of like De Ketelaere in terms of, you know, physicals. Diego Rossi's got really good physicals. Koeman's got really good physicals too. He'll play a lot like Bamba does. But maybe we want something different. I think Diego Rossi's where we want to go. He can play anywhere along the front three, between 17 and 25 million. This is also someone I've really wanted to play with in a FIFA. Haven't been able to really find a spot for him, but this might be a good spot. Offer transfer fee. We'll go with 19 million, see what they say. They want Araujo. Araujo and 12 million. No. We're going to counter that. We can get that kind of money for Araujo on his own, I think. Remove exchange player. Propose new transfer fee. We'll go to 20 million. See what gets said. 20 million, that's not too bad. Negotiate the deal. I hope I didn't miss anything there because they were pretty straightforward to 20. I'm pretty sure I got rid of the thing. I don't want to think too hard on it. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Do I dare go rotation? I'm not sure if he'll accept that. Never mind. He was very comfortable with it. 4 years. Diego Rossi. Disregard release clause. 42 million. Deny release clause. Alright. Keep it in the... They won't even tell me either. They're like, we're going to keep it in there. But we don't... You don't know what you want. I'm comfortable with 30,000 pounds a week anyway. That's probably not a good wage in real life or in a football manager for a player like Diego Rossi who's going to kind of back up. But in FIFA it's fine because there's no real repercussions on something like that. But let's move Rossi up over here. Carnesis is someone who's going to go. What do I do here? Who do I swap this out with? Because he's going to come onto the bench. De Ketelaere. Probably Jallo, I guess. Because I think Andre can play center back in an emergency, which is okay. I want Weah to be a part of this as well. I want Weah to be more a part of this season than he was last season. But we just have too many players who are very versatile. So for the moment, he's just going to have to sit in the reserves. And that's a shame because he's a really good player. And, you know, we're just going to have to deal with it going forward. We're going to go forward to the PSG game. We're not going to play the PSG game. We're going to see if other things come in. As Mönchengladbach have offered 58 million for Renato Sanchez. That is a very large number for a club like Mönchengladbach. Very large number. But we're going to go to the PSG game. We're not going to play it. We're going to see if anything else happens here. As Roma have signed Isaac. That's a good player, though I watched them play yesterday against Manchester United. They weren't too good. Sociedad, so nobody really looked good. But on any other days, quite good. Shelik disappoints with slow start. So maybe right back is something we can also take a look at with P8, depending on what his stuff comes in at. Is 35 million for Magnan and 13 million for Araujo. See, I thought, wow, I'm actually kind of surprised. His release clause is 22 million. That's actually rather low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reject it. If anybody wants Araujo, they're going to have to hit 22 million. As for Magnan, we're going to delegate this and see what kind of money comes in here. I wasn't thinking about goalkeeper, but he's also one of those goalkeepers that has his name thrown around quite often in real life. So we'll see. If a club obviously like Leicester comes in for him and pays that sort of money, maybe that's something we ought to think about doing in terms of letting a player like him go. We'll see. Mönchengladbach have backed off, which is good. Would he even want to leave Lille for Mönchengladbach is another question. I'm not sure he would. I'm not so sure he was. But it looks like we're going to get to the end here as United have reached out and are willing to offer Scott McTominay and 51 million. So we're going to delegate this to just 160 million with no player swaps. And we'll see how that happens next episode, guys. But that is going to be it for this one. Next episode, we'll get a game or two in at least. And we will possibly be doing some more transfer stuff, guys. But that is going to be it. I hope you folks have enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more. And peace.